Two strangers coming together to climb Mount Everest become much more, as one, a doctor from Everett, saves his fellow climber from death.
We reached several points. We leave base camp, the South Call Camp 4. We left between probably 9:30 and 10 p.m. on May 16th. And then you're climbing through the night, and then we get to a place called the Balcony, where they swap oxygen bottles, and then you go up to the south summit, and then you climb the last bit, 300 feet, and that's where the Hillary Step is to get to the summit. And on the summit, took all the pictures, and Bonita came up about a half hour after I got up there, and we took pictures of each other. I descended. Now, my Sherpa wasn't at the south summit, as I expected, and I thought rather than just go by myself, even though there were other groups descending too, I would wait for Bonita and her Sherpa, and it just took them the longest time. I had learned from a British climber that she had fallen on the Hillary Step descending and hurt herself, and that she was coming down but very slowly. And then she arrived with her Sherpa, and she was just carrying an oxygen bottle strapped to her back because he had then taken her backpack because she hurt her neck so badly. And it turned out she didn't fall as in off the rock hitting the ground. She had fallen I don't know how many feet, and the rope had caught her, and she wrenched her neck, giving her a whiplash, so her neck was very sore, and this radiated down into her upper back. I said to her Sherpa, well, you go first, then Bonita will go and I'll follow, and we'll kind of sandwich her between us, and we'll all go down together. And he said, great, I'll go get the oxygen. I think there was some miscommunication there, and I turned around and Bonita was sitting in the snow. And then I found out really she was having a much harder time than I initially thought. And then I turned back to her Sherpa to get the radio and rediscuss this, but he was gone. He'd already taken off down to the balcony where the other oxygen was, with the north and the east being pretty well cloudy, and there was some drifting snow, but it was getting bad. You could see about 30 yards, I think, at that point. She was pretty despondent, and I had encouraged her quite a bit, and we got up, and then we were making our descent, and we tried various techniques. She scooted on her rear end while there was still good snow, and then when it came to all the rocks, I had her stand up, and she was rappelling, basically going backwards, but she couldn't turn to see where she was going, so I was trying to shout through my mask these directions. We didn't have to wait more than 10-15 minutes, and then actually her Sherpa came, and he had the extra oxygen, so he put some on her, and then the three of us started to descend again. And then another Sherpa that Kenton, the guide, had sent up from the South Col came, and he gave me a new bottle of oxygen. Her Sherpa didn't bring the radio back, so we couldn't call down and say we need more help. The second Sherpa came, he didn't have a radio. So now they were helping her down, and I went down faster to find the radio. The sun had just set, and it was really pretty nasty. I could only see them as they came down to the balcony by the headlamps, and the snow was pretty horizontal, blowing. The balcony is a nice rest area because it's fairly flat. And at this point, Bonita was really having a very difficult time. She essentially couldn't walk. Now, one of the Sherpas had a nice first aid kit, and we pulled out the dexamethasone, which in a little glass vial was absolutely frozen solid. So we couldn't inject it, couldn't give it to her. And the two that were there just insisted. They said, nah, you go down, saying this to me, and we'll get her down the rest of the way. I think ultimately she would have made it, all right, if I wasn't there. But I'm glad I was there to help her, you know. And I think the communication issues with Sherpas, because they're great people, but they're not fluent in English. I think she would have felt really like she was in a very tenuous situation, even more so because of the communication issues. I just did what I had to do at that moment, and I did it to the best of my ability. But why that would make someone a hero is really for the storytellers after the event. I think I was able to talk to her and convince her we were going to make it. And I think that helped her keep going instead of just giving up. And I think if just the Sherpa were with her, that would have been much, much tougher for him to do.